Hello and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Jaye. How are you all doing? How are you keeping with your New Year resolutions? Remember, this is a year to remain healthy and it is a year to keep well. Now, today I will be talking about one of the very important and vital parts of us keeping well, and that is about positive social connection. Yes, positive social connection. What do you know about social connection? I'm not talking about social media following or anything or quantity of friends you have. No, no, no. I'm talking about having a meaningful relationship with yourself, with the people around you, and with the world in general. Okay. I'm sure you know this anyway, but I will say it. Do you know we are all wired for connection? And our connection actually affects our health. Our connection is vital to us keeping happy and healthy in life. What does this mean? How does this matter? Now, each time we go to visit our doctor or we go to the doctor's surgery, what we all desire is some form of healing, isn't it? Some form of physical healing or emotional healing or mental healing or just some form of help. More and more, we are beginning to understand that healing takes place at a deep level. It's not just about the medications, the antibiotics you get, but it's about healing from a deep level. Now, when you went to your doctor last, did they ask about how your social interactions are? For instance, did they ask how frequently you made or contacted your close relationships, or how often you keep in touch with people that matter to you, or perhaps what is the quality of your relationship? How close do you feel to your friends, to your family, or maybe how diverse is your social interaction? What kind of interactions do you have socially, or how often, or maybe how much time do you actually spend with people you love or you care about or deeply admire? Okay, now let's take that aside. Let us look at maybe yourself. I'm sure deep inside you, there is more to life. There is more to life than just living by yourself and doing things on your own. And you know what? I get it. I understand and I see and I hear you, especially people who struggle to connect for various reasons. It could be due to exhaustion, especially, I mean, men and women feel exhausted, even children feel exhausted. But I'm talking about women in midlife when they hit the early menopause, when their hormones begin to fluctuate. And a lot of times I hear women say they are exhausted. I have been in that shoe myself, where there isn't any energy to connect with people emotionally or deeply. Or perhaps you're just worried about the drama of connecting with people. And for that reason, you just like keeping to yourself, the stress of work or family life. And you just want to, what we call self care. You want to spend time by yourself. You want to hide under your blanket and just shut the world out. You know what? I get it. And some people, it's their personality. In fact, many people always believe that I am an introvert, and I am an introvert. But now I'm beginning to see that there's so many sides to me. And you may find that you have that personality that is quiet or shy. That's understandable. But that doesn't stop the kind of connections you can have. You just need that one or two or three, depending on what kind of personality you have, to have a deep and meaningful relationship that would have an impact on your health and your well being. So I can understand if there are difficulties in your environment, or perhaps you're an elderly person listening to this and you don't have any friends or family anymore around you. Yes, I can understand that there will be all these little limitations, but that shouldn't stop us from finding alternative ways of connecting. Sometimes connecting to yourself in a deep and meaningful way is also quite important as connecting to other people. Yes, social connection is an important part of our health. Personally, for me as a doctor, I always enjoy talking to people I meet, my patient, my client. It's really important to engage in our world. Beyond the tablet I prescribe, it's really important to take ownership of connecting with people you love, with family, with friends, having diverse interaction, engaging in group activities, because more and more we are beginning to understand that this has an impact not just on the fun for connecting, but also on our physical health. It helps to maintain our body mass index. We're able to see things from all sorts of different perspectives. Your immune system works better. It helps to control blood sugar. It helps your cognitive health, intellectual health, but also your mental health, especially for people who may have had traumatic experiences before. Actually, learning to reconnect with people can mitigate against post traumatic stress disorder. And it's really important to actually begin to see the strength, the joy of living. So, for instance, when people come to talk to you, perhaps as a doctor, you want to help them understand that they need to reframe their readiness from change, from the fear of dying, for instance, or the fear of whatever it could be, to actually the joy of living. Certainly, a positive social connections ranks side by side with eating healthily, stressing less, moving more, having better sleep. And in fact, I was very intrigued to see that people who have low social interaction, it's almost as similar as, smoking 15 cigarettes a day, or perhaps being an alcoholic, or even the risk of low social interaction is twice as worse for being obese as well. Can you imagine that? And in fact, some people have a higher chance of suffering from a stroke or heart attack by up to 30%, compared to having positive social interaction, which can increase your lifespan by up to 50%. I think those numbers are incredible. I'm sure you've heard people talk about food is medicine, exercise is medicine. I want to tell you that connection is medicine as well. Or perhaps you've heard about people talk about eat more, move more, stress less. Definitely love more is also part of the pillar of keeping healthy and well. So what is it about social connection? There is a lot of evidence that confirms that social connection, especially people who are in supportive groups, or for instance, if you are invited to go for a diabetes self-help group, in fact, people who are in those groups actually have a better outcome, not just for their diabetes, but for their quality of life. Isn't that incredible? Just the ability to share openly and authentically about your health can make a lasting impact on not just your physical health, but your mental health. Also, there's a research which has been going on from 1938 about adult development, and it was done in Harvard. Again, it shows that meaningful relationship, especially from the age of 50, has a positive impact on one's health. So please don't take social connection lightly. It is quite important. And then lastly, loneliness is a stressor. It causes a lot of physical stress in the body. For instance, it can make people not sleep well. It can affect the way they gain weight. It can affect the way their blood sugar is controlled. So all of this cause a low level of inflammation within the body. So there's a lot of solid scientific evidence that backs the fact that social connection is an important pillar for our life, our health, and also having a good, healthy lifespan. So, how can we maybe prevent, or how can we maybe treat, because I'm a doctor, or how can we reverse the negative effects of lack of social interaction? So I will go at it with two ways. First of all, if you are here and you're listening to me and you're a doctor, I think it's really important to help people understand that social connection is vital to their health, every small effort we make into getting things right in our health, especially in our midlife, is it goes a long way. It actually has a compounding effect for those wild years ahead of us. So even as a doctor or as a leader in any capacity you are at home, at work, or in organizations, voluntary organization, make it a point of duty, if possible, to actually genuinely get to speak to people at their level, remind people what brings them a sense of hope, remind them what brings them a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning into life. And that is actually what brings the joy of living, that joy of connection. Please use your position as an opportunity to help people. It doesn't have to be doctors or nurses that do this all the time. You can make a difference where you are. But also, as an individual, how can you transform social isolation? Okay, now I have a number of ways, but you can choose what works for you. Whether or not is having a pet, because definitely having a pet helps to release what we call oxytocin, a bonding hormone, very similar to what you get when you hold someone or have close interaction with people. Your body releases this special hormone that helps you feel connected, whether or not it's a pet or this one is quite funny because this month is my husband's birthday and he loves robots. I thought I might include this in this episode. Social robots, have you heard of those before? Now these are special robots that are meant to act as human companions. I know this is quite controversial, but for some people, especially vulnerable adults or people with learning disorders, some people actually find this really helpful to reduce their levels of stress or loneliness. Okay. But whatever capacity you are, remember that you can make a change. You can begin to connect in ways that is meaningful to you, whether or not is the frequency of contacts, the quality of the relationships you have. It's really important. So today I would end with 3 ways to connect. Try to look for ways to connect to yourself, look for ways to connect with others, look for ways to connect with a higher power or to God. That's the way I would look at it. Now, if you want to learn a bit more about all of this, then why don't you tune into my podcast where I break this down into easy to understand concepts, okay? And that will be my 6th episode for season 2. So look out in the link below for some further information about that. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening today. I would like you to subscribe if you haven't and look out for my next episode, which will be coming out every month. So thank you once again, and I hope you have a lovely day today, whatever you do. Keep on keeping well and keep on connecting to the world around you. Bye.